Sario with the whole thing. He went out with the girl, and then she sent him a text the next day saying that he forced her to give him oral sex twice. It was some man. Bitches are scandalous, man. I don't know why we can't say that, Joe. Like literally, like I ain't gonna, since I've been out here, dude. The amount of married women that have came at me is ridiculous, dude. Like just fucking ridiculous. I done fucked a few of them, man. I be fucking them nasty, and I'm like, you going home? You gonna put your mouth on your husband? Not doing that? You a disgusting bitch.
Oh, but that's what's gonna get her wet for the next 6 weeks till she finds another guy.
Nah, I guess, nah they be trying to. It's this the thing. They try to have a whole relationship outside of the, you know what I'm saying, the husband and shit.
That's
man.
crazy shit.
It is, and I tell motherfuckers, I'm like, when women do shit, man, it's malicious when they do it, cause y'all, cause I think the reason why men get caught, cause we feel bad. We go home like, damn, that's kind of fucked up. We still want outside pussy. Women, they would just keep the act up, like they ain't even doing shit. You won't even know, man, unless you like find some shit out. You start like paying attention to them motherfuckers. They'll go fuck this motherfucker, then come home fuck you, like they ain't fuck nobody else. You just be like, all right.
But how do you feel about that generally? The idea of like setting up a whole other relationship.
Joe, if you talk, that's this thing. If you talk about it and it's cool, I know a lot. I've come in contact with a lot of chicks recently that's down with that. Like they're like, you can have an outside girlfriend, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is like when you do it and it's like, I feel like I don't know. I feel like I would feel bad. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm in a relationship, if I'm married or some shit like that, and I'm fucking somebody else, I would feel kind of bad. You know what I'm saying?
Sure,
So,
there's a certain level of like ingrained guilt.
yeah, exactly. And it's like women can like just nullify that and just act like ain't nothing wrong. And I think that's like the biggest thing because the guys are kind of like, damn, it's kind of fucked up. But with women, it's just like they just like, oh, you know, and I think that's what makes dudes snap because you get so blindsided by it where a guy kind of changes a little bit. You know what I'm saying? His patterns changes, the things he does. He may be a little standoffish and shit, but like with women, they just fucking, they just dive in. You don't know until you know. And I'm noticing this shit. And I'm like, Jordan, and they'll like bring the motherfucker around. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't like how you bring this nigga around. They don't give a fuck, Joe.
I don't know. I mean, because we've talked about it before, the idea of like poly relationships and all that shit.
Yeah.
You asked last week or whenever the last time we did a show about monogamy.
Yeah, it's no good. It's no good. It's no good. It's eventually going flip on his head. But I'm like, there's some people that can hold out and be miserable. But why? Because you're miserable, man. Because you just trying to be faithful to one piece of pussy for the rest of your life. That's why that's everybody that gets married in their 20s, they're getting divorced now in their late 30s, early 40s.
Well, see, I don't understand why anybody gets married that fucking early.
I get it. Because it's a contractual thing. You want to have a better life, and it's much easier to do something with two paychecks than it is to do with one paycheck. So you go into it and you're like, okay, we're gonna have this great life together and blah blah and this, that, and the other. But we're looking at relationships in terms of like society, but we don't look at the biological and the nature of men and women. Is just like I think we was talking about last week when it's a biological thing that makes you not have, when you get married to a woman, you've been married to a woman for so long, you've been having sex with that same woman. The amount you want her goes down every time you have sex. And that's why eventually relationships become sexless because you just don't have the want to fuck that person anymore because they don't do it for you. But you go meet another motherfucker. Anybody, if you know biology, when a man comes in contact with another woman, he gets a spike in testosterone. Just the contact. So now it's like you a young motherfucker. You first get the first piece of pussy, your dick be so goddamn hard. New pussy get your dick hard as hell. That's because it's a biological thing. In your mind, you're getting that endorphin spike. Like, oh, shit, this some new pussy. Whereas that old pussy, I had that 30s. I had that every which way.
I actually don't. I have not had that experience. I'll be completely honest with you. A year or so ago, I was afforded the opportunity to have some fun. Mm-hmm. And my dick did not come to play. It literally was like I want to make the like Jordan with the flu in like game 5 of the finals against the Jazz, but it didn't step it up. It did not have 38 points.
So what do you think it was?
It
Do you
made
think it
two
was
free throws and fucking got called on a technical.
was it
Were you fucked up?
was
or
it
was
two
like
was it
emotional?
two girls or just another girl outside of your girl?
It
Was
was two girls over the course, so not at the same time.
Mm.
One and another, and it was like it got up like it was like a solid like 7-man, but no starter. That's for goddamn sure.
So you just so you fucked the first one. You fucked once and then you tried to go to the second one and didn't get up. Well,
okay, so
fizzled out on the first one.
no, even on the first one, it was like fucking that for like the blowjob, and as soon as it came time for insertion, it was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna take a nap.
Oh damn.
And it was like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Betrayed by your own system.
Right. I was super upset.
you know,
very embarrassed.
I was just watching this video on that, and it really it's just your mental wasn't there. It was a mental thing. Something was disconnecting you mentally from what was going on, and it took over physically.
You're absolutely right, because so there was one day where I was with one girl at like noon, next girl at like 4, and had similar issues. And then at the end of the day, back with my girl, it was right there. Like, where was this guy?
Well, maybe you just you in there. Like I said, there's always exceptions to the rule, man. But and y'all not married though. Y'all ain't married yet, right?
No, and we never will be. We have a contract that's filed with the state that's basically like, because we have joint income, like we have a bank account and all that stuff. We've been together for 14 fucking years. So it's like.
So you're common law married. You're just never had like a wedding.
Yeah, but we'd have to actually, one of us would have to leverage that. And that's why we signed the contract, because the contract supersedes anything in the state. Like, we can't be common law. We have a document that says we are domestic partners.
Oh, okay.
So, to indemnify against all that other bullshit.
That's what's up. Yeah, you found out what works for you, shit. For real.
All right. Let's
Let's
not
get it-
talk about that
Let's get
then.
it started here.
The people have spoken, and they want a black Batman.
Okay, I have 2 questions. A, who are the people?
I didn't even say that.
Dude, that shit drives me nuts. The people have spoken. Well, no one fucking asked me if I don't care. We can have a black Batman. That'd be fun, man. It depends
No
on
black
who
Batman.
writes it.
I
Right.
hate when they change the color or the sex of a fictional character.
Oh, but it wouldn't be like all of a sudden Bruce Wayne is a black dude. It's not like that. It would be like a future Batman or a past tense Batman.
Just make him something else. Give
They
another
have their
dude.
one superhero. It's Blank Man. Nothing?
No.
Back in the day?
No.
Was
Movie
that
was
David
No,
terrible.
because
Wayne?
there's so many more black super. You could say it. You could say Luke Cage, man. You could say
He's
it.
not a
Blade.
Is he a superhero?
Yeah,
Luke Cage is a superhero.
he's a superhero. He's bulletproof.
He's a
goddamn.
Marvel comic.
He's just the scariest black man. Is that his superpower?
He looks good in a hoodie.
Say he's so scary the bullets don't even hit him.
Bangs little white chicks. Like he's a prototype.
You got Storm, man. You got a lot of black. They made Iron Man a black woman.
Yeah,
In
the
the
new
comic?
Yeah.
the new Iron Man is this like crazy. She's supposed to be like the smartest person on the planet at this
Yeah.
point.
Well, and then Miss Marvel's supposed to be what? Like Islamic, like Muslim.
Well, the thing about that power shifts person, so it goes from person to person to person.
Like the Green Lantern.
yeah,
Oh, really? I know nothing about Captain
Yeah.
Marvel.
that power shifts from person to person, so it can be anybody actually.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, but nah, like just like they tried to make Superman black, because you know why they. It's not because
I remember, dude. That was a fun comic book arc, though.
what.
When they killed off Superman, and then they brought him back like 4 different ways. They brought him back as the John Henry Irons, the black dude, the Man of Steel. They got Shaq to make a movie, I think. They brought back a cloned version of him that they called like Superman Junior or something like that.
I think I just talk about where they had all different ones.
Yeah, man.
Well,
There was a
they went
grip
so
of 'em.
deep into it. It's like you got different universes, superheroes and shit like that. I'm just like, if motherfucker been that way, just leave them. Just make another. If you want to make black superheroes, make them. Just don't change that. It's just it makes no sense because you know they're only changing it to make people happy, to appease certain people. And if that's what you want to do, make a whole nother motherfucker, but don't fuck up what's already been the same. It's
well,
a
the
fictional
people they're
character.
trying to appease are these same people. It's the people.
And it ain't even black people. That's the thing. There is white liberals.
Oh yeah, black people don't have enough time to get pissed off whether or not Batman's black.
There's also
But
black
now they gonna get pissed off.
Republicans.
Now they gonna get pissed off. Now that they see it.
'Cause
Now it's gonna
someone
like,
puts
oh
the
yeah, we need
idea
a black
out there.
Batman. No, you don't.
But here's my thing: is like I have no problem because Batman, as far as I know, gets handed off throughout.
It does,
like,
man.
After Bruce Wayne dies.
is the first Batman, unless you're in the parallel universe where Bruce Wayne dies and then his dad becomes the first Batman.
Yep.
But Bruce Wayne's the first Batman, and then he passes it on to Dick Grayson, who is the original Robin, and
Correct.
then Nightwing. And then from there, it goes on to who was the second Robin? Jason Todd, who later became the Red Hood. He becomes the Batman.
He was
and then-
Red Hood.
a bunch of people were the Red Hood, but when Jason Todd came back to like wreak havoc for the Batman, he came back as the Red Hood.
Fair enough. But I think they don't need like a Bruce Wayne or like if there's a black Batman, it shouldn't be Bruce Wayne.
No, it can't be Bruce Wayne. I imagine they'll retcon one into like there'll be a black Batman that helps the slaves escape. I swear to God, because they just
So he doesn't
retconned
get
him
any
into
of the
a
cool
ninja movie.
technology.
Yeah, he's
Just
just
a
got to be
purpose.
smart and have a purpose. And I get it; that's a good way to do a Batman. But they just did that one where
This
he's
guy,
a ninja. In
Batman
like 14th
sneaking
century
slaves to the
fucking-
Underground Railroad.
Yeah, man.
Woo, Batman! Get the fuck out of here.
You call Batman because he just hangs in the caves that are the Underground Railroad.
It's not an actual railroad, James.
No, but there were tunnels, and bats hang out in tunnels. So then
Sure.
they maybe
I
call him
like it.
Batman.
You just wait and see. Batman gonna get you.
Right? Slave owners just scared of the Batman all night.
Lord. This motherfucker singing Negro Batman spirituals. Da na 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 na. When the water crawls out on the river. Just come on, man. They be pissing me off with bullshit.
We should write that. I'm telling you, we should write it like a blaxploitation film. It would be fucking amazing.
Woo! I can't lie, man. When I watch like them old ass commercials when they had black people on there and they used to just be so mammied out, that shit used to have me. That shit is hilarious to me, man. Cause it's just so.
Did you? I'm going to ask this question and take the appropriate beating for asking it. Did
What?
either of you watch the royal wedding?
Nah, I ain't watch
What
that
the
bullshit.
fuck? Do I look like I'm gay?
Okay,
I ain't watched that
did you
bullshit.
see any of the clips from it?
Nah.
So
Apparently, there is a meme of one of the princes doing like a finger gun gesture at someone. And then, like, the whole meme was, once we saw him do that, we knew he was going to get a black chick. And that was all over the place for, like, a day.
So yeah, it's Meghan
But that's
Markle who's,
really all
who's
I
half
know.
black, like a quarter black maybe.
Well, make up
Yeah.
your mind that
She's
there's a
fucking
difference between a half and a
stunning.
quarter.
Who cares?
Is
Like
she hot? Pull up a picture.
fuck.
Can we get a visual?
Yeah. She a bad bitch.
she fucking.
I mean, a
hot
prince
as
should be able to
fuck.
get a hot chick.
Yeah.
Because this is the one that's not next in line for the throne, right?
Yeah, he's the party boy
Fun.
that used to go to like fucking.
Oh, she
Vegas
kind of
and
looked
get-
like Stacey Dash
Yeah, she
before
do.
Stacey Dash got fat.
She looked like a.
Oh, that's a good call.
She looked like right there. She really looked like Stacey Dash on the left.
This
Yeah,
one?
right here.
Yeah. Both of them.
Yeah, she looked like a really young Stacey Dash.
He got himself a Stacey Dash clone. He's like, man, I loved Clueless. Find me that chick.
So, I still think she's just fire.
She cool.
So you didn't see any of this? That there was a part of it because she's American and I believe she's Southern Baptist. They had a Southern Baptist preacher do like a tiresome 8 at Westminster Abbey during their wedding, and you get the camera shots as they move around the crowd on all these dignitaries, everybody's like, "What the fuck is this?"
I think I saw a montage of that on John Oliver.
Well, no, he showed the Queen's reaction, which was just like, "Huh?" But you watch it, like Elton John is like, "What?" Oh, let me see if I can find it.
There you go. The Royals react to black pastor royal wedding.
Okay, let's roll with it. I don't know if I get audio. We're gonna try.
We'll give it hell.
It don't matter. We could just, I can just see his face. Look at these old buff.
He like, this my time. To show.
Look at him.
You
Hey, I was say, yeah, he acted out too.
This is hands down the most black people that have ever been in that room.
There you go.
Look at her.
Seem to center around you and your beloved. There's power in love to lift up.
I like how they
and
get
liberate.
chairs. I bet this was a
Nothing
long
else
fucking
will.
ceremony. They got chairs.
They look like they
son.
was.
Power
Look at this. Look at her.
to show us the way to live.
I don't know why she got to marry a white
Sitting
boy.
as a seal on your
Man,
heart.
after this, I'm thinking chicken wings sound
Seal on your
awesome.
arm. For love.
Chicken wings and beer, maybe.
It's just
Yeah. What does he think?
That's the new bit. I'm just gonna voice over.
I
the
am
facial
enjoying this
expression.
because that fucking pussy is that good. Because he's a party boy. He's got what, third richest family on the planet. Why does he have to get married? He's not in line to take the throne.
It was part of the program.
strong as death.
I can't believe I locked this down. Oh my god! Oh my god!
love is
He's a
not
prince.
only about
He's a prince. Oh my god!
a young
Oh my
couple.
god! Smile, smile.
Now, the power of love is demonstrated by the fact that we're all here. Two young people fell in love.
You see, she
and
got
they
us.
also
She
loved.
got a smile. You see it?
And Jesus said, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all
They
your
cracking
mind,
jokes.
and all your spirit."
Right.
They
This
got
is
jokes
the
right
first.
there. You can tell they just told each other a joke.
Yeah.
And the second is like it. Everything
Fuck,
that
I'm on
Moses
camera.
wrote, everything in the holy prophets, everything in the scriptures, everything that God has been trying to tell
This
the
nigga is
world.
losing his
Love
mind,
God.
man. He like, I'm gonna get him.
This
tonight.
guy's like, every time I hear everything, I'm gonna think of another thing to put in another hole.
No, but he is so fucking passionate.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, how many times in your life are you going to get to do this?
Look how he's sitting there, though, man. It's just such a.
It's because it's Westminster Abbey. It's like,
I don't know what Westminster Abbey is.
It's some show, ain't it?
no, that's Downton Abbey.
That's same
Westminster
shit.
Abbey is the church. Like, fucking Isaac and Newton is buried under the floor in there. Like, and I think Stephen Hawking will be buried there as well. It's like all the most famous people, most of the royals in history are buried under the floor there.
So this trumps the Vatican.
No, don't
Yeah,
nothing trump that much.
Kind of, because it's the Church of England. It's not a Catholic church. This goes back to Henry VIII when he
Yeah,
pulled
he's
out
like-
because the Catholics wouldn't let him
He's
get
like,
a
yo,
divorce.
yo, 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 yo. We're gonna start a new Christianity.
Yes.
Like Catholics are out. This is now the King James Bible, and
Mm.
I'm allowed to leave this bitch without having to cut her head off.
Correct.
Did you you know any conspiracy theories about
Oh, Jesus.
damn. The,
I gotta,
white
dude. I
people?
can make it. Have you seen me play?
No,
You've
but-
seen me play Sex Move, right?
The fuck
I
is-
can do that with conspiracy theories too. I just discovered this like a week ago.
What the
But
fuck
wait,
we
what-
just talking about? The church,
Church of
the
England.
Vatican, the Vatican. No,
The
Oh,
Vatican?
dude, that's deep.
Yeah,
Dude, the Vatican goes crazy deep, old school.
I know.
Like,
That's,
what do you want to know?
I'm just saying. You
'Cause
have
that-
any?
The
I got a ton of them.
library
I
and
can
Give me
do
one.
I
Give
can
me
do
one.
an hour on the Vatican.
Give me one.
Ooh. So at the beginning of World War II, like previous to actual beginning of World War II, Hitler made an arrangement with the existing Pope that he would not go after the Vatican, and the Vatican would not go after his people. Like they just made a mutual agreement to leave each other the fuck alone. At the end of World War II, the Vatican handed out 5,000 passports to high-ranking German officials to get them to South America.
I actually think that's true. I
There's,
don't think
like,
that's
everything that
arguable.
The Vatican, everything that the Vatican used to have, as far as because they have the largest collection of known knowledge to man, as far as old school shit.
Mm.
And it used to be you could go in and you could fill out a paperwork and you could go in and get access to all of this. You just had to you had to check in or whatever. As soon as World War I started and they started keeping German records for World War II, as soon as World War II started, they started holding German records. And, no one gets to go anywhere near that since, 1939. It's been completely sealed off. They keep adding shit to it, but no one ever gets to see it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the Vatican Library is supposed to be the closest thing to the, what is it, the Library of Alexandria, I
Yeah.
think it is.
What is that?
So the Library of Alexandria was in, I think, now what is modern-day Turkey. And it was the ancient world's repository of all knowledge. All of it. Dead Sea Scrolls and earlier, to the earliest known, everything that had happened, everything. And the Turks, before it became Turkey, the Turks burned it to the ground. And we know where it is because the ruins are still there. And there's a lot of conspiracy theories about the inscriptions that are on some of the cross beams. Super interesting because they depict things that are the big famous one is that there's a what clearly looks like an airplane. My belief is that it's a bird, but looks a lot like a modern day airplane. And so people look at it and say there was this time where there's a lot of knowledge in the world, and then we have an erasure point. Literally, we don't have a lot from that time, and we don't know how to translate what we do have.
Mm-hmm.
And the library at Alexandria was supposed to be, I'm pretty sure that's right. Now you're going to make me second guess myself.
It's pretty interesting.
I back 100% of it, except I cannot verify the location to be in Turkey. I was also led to believe that the Greeks burned it. Alexander the Great was fuck your shit. I write the history now, biatch.
The Library of Alexandria was one of the largest and most significant libraries of the ancient world and part of a larger research institution called the Museum. Despite the widespread modern myth that the library was burned once and cataclysmically destroyed, Alexandrian scholarship actually suffered several setbacks and a general decline spanning centuries. From the mid-19th century to the present, historians have criticized the tendency to produce vivid stories of the library's grandeur and the tragedy of its destruction drawn from primary sources that are scarce, often inconsistent. So, okay. At an early event at the library's decline, during the reign of Ptolemy VIII, who purged some of its scholars in 145 BC, Julius Caesar may have burned the library or part of its collection during his civil war in 48 BC. It is unclear how much was destroyed, but the library continued to operate afterwards. The library's membership appears to have ceased by 260s AD. Between 270 and 275, the city saw a rebellion and imperial counterattack that may have damaged the library.
Ooh, you want me to fuck with your head? That's about the same time the Bible was written.
Actually, is that right? I thought the Bible
as
was
a collection,
written later
as a
at
collection.
the Bible Congress. I thought that didn't happen till almost the first, the 10th century. I think.
But as far as the people because it's what John, Mark, Paul, Rufus, Dingleberry, whatever.
The apostles.
All of their books were written by their grandchildren, some about 100 years after the fact.
Yeah, the Gospels. So
and that would have been right around 130 AD.
And the whole Bible was basically decided by committee.
Yeah.
They wrote the whole fucking thing, and then a bunch of fucking white
collection.
men said, "Nope, that doesn't go."
Yeah. Just took a bunch of the stories that was written and put it together and said, "This is what it is."
All right, let's get back to the task at
This
hand.
is how we shall rule the world.
Jesus began the most revolutionary movement This way of love, it is the way of life.
Dude, fucking
they
Skeletor
got
over
it.
there looks so
He died to
mad.
save
The
us all.
Duke of Edinburgh.
Imagine
Is that who that is?
our homes and families when love is the way. Imagine
Is that fat guy famous?
when love is the way.
Oh, there's Elton John looking
We will
retarded.
let justice roll down like a mighty stream and righteousness like an ever-flowing brook. The earth will be a sanctuary.
All right, we get it. We know white people don't like black preachers. That's good enough.
Lay down our swords and shields.
Regular white people don't like black preachers. You got the uppitiest of the uppitiest in that room listening to Reverend Sykes.
I just found it interesting that they made that choice. It was just like, okay, we'll let this half black girl have her black preacher at Westminster Abbey, where we don't let black people in.
But that just lets you see how far reaching like shit like that is. Like, I know motherfuckers like, who is this nigga right here, man? This robe. You know what I'm saying? Like, you the motherfucking queen of England. You can call a motherfucking nigga, ain't nothing gonna happen to you. That's just how bad shit done got for white folks.
She comes from a
These
different
are the
time.
original white people. They can't even call a motherfucking nigga and kick him out their motherfucking church. That's fucked up, boy. That's why white people mad, man. They let this nigga in that church. I'd be mad too, goddamn it. Whose nigga has got into the robes? Is this your nigga here? Somebody get this nigga. Why is he going towards the pubes? Oh my god. Oh my god.
Your Highness, ma'am.
Your Highness,
that's
there seems to be
mine.
a mistake here.
He's with me.
Whose Negro is that? I can't believe that was the talk of the after party, and that Negro, he was so loud and just.
Why did he insist on yelling? We have an excellent PA system.
Oh man. Oh my god. They was looking around like, oh my god. It was nigga on the tip of everybody's tongue in that building, man. Motherfuckers in there sweating, boy.
Skeletor looked like he was about to have a stroke, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
This
that
man,
blood
he was
clot
over there like,
dangerous.
I can't even do it. I can't even do an accent. He probably never thought you'd see that day. He's like, he's like, it's time for me to die.
This
My time
family
is up.
has been pure white since the dawn of time.
Has it?
It's a bunch of Germans, yes. The whole British royal family is German.
That's fun.
It's true.
I believe it.
When British people say it, they get censored.
There's a lot of crazy shit that happens over there. Did you know you can go to jail for being a Holocaust denier?
Sorry, that was here.
Dude, I'm not okay. So, in fairness, I will give every single conspiracy at least one go round if it's presented in a rational fashion. I don't believe, but maybe like 15% of all of them that I've read.
Okay.
Holocaust denial is a big one, so I was like, "Fuck it, let's check out Holocaust denial."
When I was looking up conspiracy theories for tonight's show, maybe we do this one instead. One of the things that I came across is that they believe that the Queen of England is a cannibal.
I mean, I've heard dumb shit like that, but like, they're all pedophiles. I wouldn't be surprised if when you're at the absolute top of the food chain. Why not be a fucking cannibal too?
Dude, fuck
Like,
you. Man,
give me a 40-year-old white girl. I
Man,
wish to dine.
Or was she looking at that preacher being like, that's food?
well, you know what it is with pedophilia? They actually there's books where that's written into it, like different types of Bibles to where that's like written into it. But the idea behind it is that if I rape a woman, anything between a man and a woman is governed under God. Anything between a man and a man is governed outside of God. So it's almost like there's nothing stopping you from doing that. So that's why these motherfuckers have sex with these little boys, and it's like there's nothing wrong. And that's why the church is really big on it, because as a man of God, I can't have a wife, I can't have sex with a woman, but me having sex with a child isn't a boy child isn't governed under God, so I can do that, and it's okay. And that's how it's like perceived.
But it says, I think, fairly clearly in the Bible, in the book of Leviticus, that just sexual interactions with another male, and it's why is it
It,
always
sa-
boys?
it says man. It doesn't say male. It says man.
It actually says brother
And you really have to pay attention to the word.
or fellow man.
Exactly.
I think is the two
And
phrases.
that's what I'm saying. You really have to pay attention to the word in those things, because just like look at what's the North American Man Boy Association,
NAMBLA.
NAMBLA. Now you look at now they were supposed to be like for gay rights, but it doesn't say man. It says man boy, and it's
For sure.
it's a pedophilia thing. You know what I'm saying? It's actually
dude. So there was this. I don't know a lot about pedophilia. Like,
Here's
I don't-
here's a conspiracy theory. Let me just say this right quick before you go into it. Have you heard this one? They like the push for gay rights is actually trying to get to the point to make pedophilia a normal thing, because everybody within the government is pushing for gay rights.
I don't believe that is the agenda, but I believe what.
First sentence: the North American Man-Boy Love Association, or NAMBLA, is a pedophile and pederasty advocacy. I have
No,
never
for sure.
seen
No,
that word in my
NAMBLA is
life.
all about dudes fucking little
No,
kids.
it says advocacy organization in the United States. It works to abolish age of consent laws criminalizing adult sexual involvement with minors, and
For
campaigns
sure.
for the release of men who have been jailed for sexual contacts with minors or that did not involve coercion.
No, I'm not saying that these guys aren't about that. What I'm saying is like
What?
the
Wait,
system,
hold
the
on.
way it's being played out isn't about like it wasn't played out so pedophiles can be outed. But like you went from like when you go like think about how difficult it was to be outed as just a gay dude 20 years ago.
It
And
was
now all of a
fucking
sudden,
monstrous.
like
you'd be
dude, yeah, and that's just and in
Matthew
the last
Shepard.
so in the last 20 years now people can protest and like demand sex change chemicals at like the age of 9 because little Susie knows that he should really be little Steve. You know what I mean? And it's ridiculous shit like that. Once all that becomes so normalized, like groups like this that are like, you know, pushing for pedophilia, like at some point in the next 5 years, some guy's going to come out. He's going to be a straight up spokesperson for pedophilia, like the man for pedophilia.
Well, you have some, but that's
He's
what I'm
like-
saying. But that's the whole. There's this whole thing. Like you can look it up. Somebody introduced it to me because it was this guy that was talking about it, and like that's when I learned about like the Bible, like these old Bible texts where it was like, yeah, at 4 years of age you can,
Yeah.
you know, what I'm saying woo woo, and that's the whole line. Is like they're pushing this to get to that. They're normalizing all this other stuff, and eventually that's the end. Because that's kind of like the what. But once you normalize all this other shit, everybody's gonna be like, well, if we letting this motherfucker do this, how can we not let that person do that? You see what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure. It's a definite domino effect.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
And even
part
if-
of the dumbing down of society overall.
Even if that wasn't the course, you just like you say, people like this can step in and be up to like,
Oh,
well,
yeah. Oh,
look
no,
at all
they're
this-
riding that train. Because
Yeah.
no one saw all this transgender issues coming.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say 5 years ago, if you'd told me there was going to be an uprising that was going to affect my comedy career because of the way transgender people feel that they're not safe at open mics, I would tell you you're fucking crazy. I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. You're fucking lost your mind. And now that's legitimately what happened. And since everything is tilting so far, so fast, and so extreme, because the pendulum is just way the fuck out there right now,
Yeah.
both directions. Fucking like, there's almost no backlog or backlash on anyone. Like, everyone that really had to fight to get like equality, up through just let's say the gays. Like everything that came after that, it's coming like it's fallen like dominoes, and now it's basically like people are like, oh, I want to be the next domino. And I'm telling you, we are going down a scary, slippery sloped road.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's gonna get you.
So what I was talking about earlier, in parts of Europe, you cannot deny the Holocaust. Period.
I heard.
But
this
you
a
also
lot.
can't question the Holocaust. Period. And it's crazy.
right because it was the right thing to do. Right?
What's the right thing to do?
Man.
A legit question. What do you know about World War II? What are like the top 3 keynotes for you on World War II?
I don't know about the World War.
Nothing?
No.
James, top 3 notes of World War II.
Germany decided to invade Poland.
Correct.
Some other people got a little upset with that, and then
Sure.
they went west through Belgium into France. The U.S. wanted no fucking part of it
None whatsoever.
until a U.S. or a ship carrying U.S. stuff to England got sunk, and we were kind of thrust into the whole problem. It was very minor. And then the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, and we decided to go to war on the other side of the world, too.
Okay, fair.
Holocaust had nothing to do with why that war happened. It was a thing that happened during the war.
No, I get it.
Just like when we interned with
But
Japanese
for the most
people.
part, well, I was pushed a lot as a kid. Like when I learned about World War II in school, it was that everything that was pushed, like when I came out of high school understanding about World War II, like I understood the Axis powers and all that shit. But like the thing that was pushed the heaviest was that Hitler and the Nazis were trying to abolish the Jews.
Yeah.
Like wiping out the Jews. I learned about Holocaust camps. I learned about fucking like all of that shit. And like as an adult, I've gone back and done the homework. And most people, that's what they think of when you say World War II. Is like, oh, Hitler tried to take out the Jews.
Mm.
The Jews were one of the like least. Are they a race? Is that what we're going to call it for the sake of easy conversation? There were less Jews killed by far than almost anyone else. Like, the Russians took the heaviest casualties by far. Like, tens of millions of Russians died. Like,
Yes,
fucking
that's
start
why
pulling
that's why they
start
call it
pulling
the
up
Great
numbers.
War. I believe 5 million Jews died. And
those numbers can be skewed logically.
And close to 10 million Russians died.
Sure, and something like 4 million Poles died.
But here's the thing is nobody fucking knows not to fuck with Russia. Like, honestly,
I mean, you
Napoleon
think-
tried it. He spent fucking years trying to break through it, and the Russians are like, we're as big as a motherfucker. We're just going to throw bodies at you until you starve. And that's exactly what Russia did when Napoleon tried it. When Hitler tried it.
When Hitler started getting like close to like kind of where Russian civilization was, they pulled all of those citizens out. They were like, okay, you got like 2 days to get all your shit together. We're going to ship you out or whatever. And the Russian military pulled everyone out, and they fucking set fire to like hundreds of thousands of miles of land to completely starve the Germans of natural resources.
Correct. And
They're like, fuck it,
basically
dude.
did
We
that.
got land for days. We're the largest continent. Like, we're the largest country on the planet. Let's go. Like,
and yeah, they
know,
waited for the
0.3% down, and they fucking. That's how they beat Napoleon too, man.
let's change direct. You know what? Let's go with this one. Sextinction? How big genitals can wipe out a species?
Wow, that's fascinating.
Explain this.
As a person with like reasonably large genitals, I'm intrigued because now.
So,
I'm
like,
concerned.
reasonably large, like your balls are huge, or like we packing baby arm? I mean,
everything's proportioned to the rest of my body.
okay, fair point.
Let me. I need to. What's behind this? What's the reasoning behind this before I dive into
Like,
it?
is this something where we're gonna learn about like a weird species of sea monkey in like the Pacific Northwest have changed or something?
Scientists from the Smithsonian Museum of Natural History studied 6,000 specimens from 93 different species of ostracods, near microscopic clam-like crustaceans that lived 85 to 65 million years ago. Throughout the 20 million year span in which scientists studied, some species of ostracods lived the whole time, while others only lived a few thousand years. That may sound like a while, but to give you some perspective, blah, 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 blah. So what factor did they have? Big genitals. The scientists found that in species where males had larger genitals, the extinction rate was 10 times higher than that of species with smaller appendages. The team of scientists believe these little guys were putting all of their evolutionary energy into having killer crustacean sex, that they were ignoring every other aspect of survival. God, that sounds just like us. Similarly to
I've already lost interest in this. Who gives a fuck about what happened to microorganisms that
I feel
long
like
ago?
I feel like this is a. I feel like this is some,
This
some-
is a
this is
this
some white
a
people talking
scientist
about
with
this.
a
This
small
is
dick.
this is a sideways dig at niggas. I feel like.
Right? This is just like, oh, you've got a big dick. Well, I'm going to prove scientifically that that's bad.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I'm going to prove that
while
small
the-
dick
while the biggest
rules.
dick I've ever seen
Even-
is black, there are plenty of white dudes with big old porn dicks.
Yeah,
like
it's
porn
always-
dick is ridiculous.
It's always accept, and you always know when the white dude got a big dick because he walk like he got a big dick. He want everybody to know he got a big dick, so he gonna do shit to let you know he got a big dick. He gonna walk funny, he gonna grab his dick all the time and shit.
So why don't white guys because you assume that guys that spend all day at the gym drive big old fucking pickup trucks that are 9,000-pound curb weight.
Compensating
That
for
it's
having
all
four
compensating.
It
inches.
ain't compensate for shit. That's just, if you like big trucks, just like big trucks. It don't mean you
No.
fucking got a little dick, man. That's bullshit. That's some shit some punk ass woman came up with.
I don't believe.
So why do men buy little sports cars then? They got big dicks. What are you trying to compensate for?
Or they're hairdressers.
Say what?
Or they're hairdressers.
That's gay. I ain't never met a straight dude as a hairdresser in my life. Ever. It ain't gonna happen, motherfucker. Just like a backup dancer. All them gay.
Nope. If you're straight and you're cutting hair, you're a barber.
No, I'm talking about a hairstylist, not a
No,
barber.
I get it.
I'm talking about a nigga that's doing figure waves and shit, and putting bangs and shit, man, coloring motherfuckers' hairs and shit, man. And they be better than the females with it too, boy.
But I agree with this because if we get to the point, okay, so let's look at it this way. We adore, generally speaking, like girls with big ass titties or a big ass because it's what we can see in clothes.
Mhm.
Do either of those things serve a purpose in the continuation of our species other than the fact that now we want to fuck them because we can see that?
No, big dicks on either. Big dicks get you just as pregnant as small dicks do.
Or maybe not, because they get too big and you can't put it in a lot of these girls. I've seen some fucking dicks that don't.
I've
that
seen some
couldn't-
shit.
that couldn't go through this doorway.
Yeah, I've seen some fucking amazing dicks, but still, man, motherfuckers be taking them bitches. You get them little.
I've seen some amazing dicks, man.
I've seen some amazing
but
dicks, man. Like I seen, man, it's this one porn, Joe. They got this new porn where they take these white women. They like 4'8",
Yes.
like 90 pounds, and they put them with the biggest, blackest mules they could find, and they just destroy this white woman, man. It'd be like literally their dicks are like as long as she'll just put her arm up their dick, and their dicks are the size of her arm, and I'm just like, and they
That's
just
dangerous,
destroy her.
man.
They just destroy.